the taekwondo instructor. I don't know if they call him coach or instructor. So this will be one of the most interacting sessions. So join us as we continue with our today's interview. So Ratanga, kindly introduce yourself and then tell us, what does it mean to be a taekwondo?
Okay, my name is Jackton Omondi Ratanga. I'm a senior coach of taekwondo in North Rift region. The meaning of taekwondo is a martial art consisting of kicking, punching, and the way of doing it. It's just like any other martial art. But also the origin of taekwondo is Seoul, Korea, at Kukiwon, under the World Taekwondo Federation. So taekwondo is only one, even though there is a World Taekwondo Federation and International Taekwondo Federation. But the rules governing taekwondo is only one. Yes. So taekwondo is just a martial art like any other martial art. And it has its forms: discipline, etiquette, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. We need not select each and everyone or anyone. We can train as young as 4 years and above. Yes.
Taekwondo, you have this funny language. For an unstarter, a person like me who doesn't understand anything, what are some of the words that you always use to communicate? You know, some of us who don't understand it.
Yeah, the most important thing in taekwondo is that one has to be taught about the language, the introduction part of it. But you see, it becomes hard for other people to concentrate on the languages rather than the applications and the basics. So what we do, we also communicate in English, because you remember we have also young children who cannot pronunciate the Korean language, or the old people. But generally, people must learn these terms. Like when we are introducing ourselves or coming into the dojang. Dojang is the gym itself, the training place. So when coming in, you bow. So bowing is say kinge, right? Is bowing. So when I say chiriot, chiriot is attention. So I say chiriot, that's attention. Then you say kinge, you bow. So the meaning of bowing is discipline and respect. You respect the dojang, and you also respect the instructor who is going to train you. And you see, respect is two-way traffic. The moment you respect these people, you also respect yourself. So that is part of the program that we have to undergo with the new candidate in taekwondo. Like any other thing, like even in a nursery, you see, we train small kids and old people. Discipline is paramount, because we have discipline, etiquette, self-control, perseverance, and indomitable spirit. But you see, there are other wordings that you need not know all of them. Yes. At times we translate in English to easen the lesson for a new recruit. Yes, so it should not be something that should make you panic that you don't know the terms and the words.
Okay, a recruit like me?
Yes.
Which is the best word I can use?
I should show you that attention, and then I translate, and then I say chariot, then I tell you the meaning of chariot. So the moment you keep on doing it from time to time, you'll find the language flowing. So when I want to say ready, I say jumbi. Jumbi with the J-O-O-N-B-I. So jumbi, like for example, I want you to fight at a fighting stance. So I say jumbi. Then you say so. So meaning that you are accepting that you are very ready. Like for example, during the tournament, then you have to be focused and to be ready and prepared, as the ref will be viewing the participants, the blue and the red corner. That was for the people who have advanced to a level where they can as well. Boogie means sporting, fighting, right? Yes.
Now, let's come back to the sport. Kenya recently, maybe we've not had a very serious taekwondo tournament. What is happening?
Of course, we have been having tournaments, because even in the North Rift here, we had another tournament that we are trying to raise funds for the Fighting for Life children. And surely, due to COVID issue, we could not end up having serious tournament, because there were rules that had been governing the disease. You know, it's a killing disease. So we have been doing training, that we have to do training without direct contact, because we have to be training, at least taking precaution 1.5 meters apart. But you see, you cannot execute a kick at that level. So the latest, we have not been very serious having such like tournaments. Yes.
Maybe the reason why I want to say it, has maybe the federation, how have you been supported by the federation, you guys at the ground, in terms of talent nurturing, in terms of preparing a team, in terms of, taekwondo is an Olympic sport. So how have you been doing all this as a federation, maybe coming to support you guys?
There is a really big issue and a challenge, like, because in taekwondo there has been some kind of politicking from 90s to date, whereby when others are in the office and you are not singing their tone, you may not end up getting anything from the office. Like the things like protective gadgets, mats, and water. We expect the national federation to be distributing such like kitties to the whole nations. But you see, it is challenging that we have to look for sponsors to get these things. So at times when you're having tournaments, we also communicate to them, we also summon them to the ground. But the only thing we do is also to pay for officiation fees rather than them paying for it. So it's challenging, and because they are somehow selective. In this region, we have never benefited from the headquarters at any time. Even last time when you were actually looking for sponsorship when we were being promoted to the next dan, it is the country which helped us did go through that. So it's a challenge. And at times when there are seminars where coaches should be uplifted up, yes, you have to pay for your own fee and for commuting fee for you to get these certificates. And at times they may end up selecting few who are actually singing the tone. Like the other time there was another national coaches seminar that they were giving Zoom for us to Zoom. Then when I was trying to Zoom, it was not open for me to actually benefit from it. So I realized that maybe they were fearing as if I was belonging to another group which is not supporting them. So there has been some kind of loss of malpractices that is not actually benefiting the young generation in Kenya. Because even when it comes to selecting a national team, then we should come up with a structure to select the right coaches that should be going around and select the best exponents so that we can end up coming with a strong team and a national team, which has been a challenge from the memorial of from 1990s when there has been issue of fighting or wrangling about the leadership, which is very wrong.
So are you an outcast in the federation?
Not really, I'm not, because the moment I know how to reach my seniors, right, I may be actually a younger person or an older person, but you see, there are some things which do happen. Like my seniors whom I found on the ground, the most important thing for me is to respect them. So if there are things that I don't know, I have to go and see them and share with them, you see? So I'm not an outcast. But when it comes to how to handle things, I have to stand firm and say no or yes for a yes. Yes.
Now, North Rift is known specifically for athletics, that is track and field. Yes. How did you manage to come up with taekwondo in this region, knowing very well that it is not well supported? And have you ever got maybe support from the regional government, that is the county government?
Yes, it is a long story, because when I joined this place in 1992, when I was from the Kenya Power Training School, there was no taekwondo in this region. So I started it at Kamunga Flats in a hall where we used to train ourselves. And then suddenly other people came and joined in. And then we were to compete against the karatekas to show them that this is also a martial art. Then from that time, I used to commute from here to Nairobi and challenge other people, exponents in Nairobi, and then come back. By then I was a blue belt, and then I rose to red belt, and then to black belt. From that level, I'm trying to seek for sponsorship from Kenya Power sponsored some of my team members. I took them to Mombasa. I managed even to recruit other karatekas to join taekwondo. And from that level, I've managed to train others to acquire black belt. And even the county supported us in sometimes back, and even paying for my international dance certificate in 2014. Even though it has been very hard, because frequently they are fond of supporting athletes, not taekwondo, but actually they did it because As we are communicating to the director of sports and we reach the legal offices, they really supported us. But at times you may end up applying for the sponsor or support, and maybe the capital which was put in place is not enough for you people. So at times they'll end up distributing to athletics, and then finally you end up not getting what you should be acquiring. But I wish that in future we shall be benefiting like any other sporting activity. Yes, yes.
Now, as we talked about the issue of identifying talents in the region, because if you are in Nairobi, it will be easy for you to maybe to get someone to join taekwondo. But this region, most people think that if you are not a track and field athlete, then you are not competing in sports. How do you always maneuver around to ensure that you have the best? Now that you're talking about organizing tournaments, taking your players to other regions, how do you always maybe come up with such like thing to ensure that you have the best?
Yeah, because as we have been training and gauging our students as per the standards in terms of belts and ranks, and even the Kyurigi, that is the tournaments, we do have clubs participation, right? So we summon them into a regional tournament, and then we select the best players. We also award some of them with the trainer certificate. So as we do that, we also demonstrate in during public holidays, and also advertise so that the people we train should not only belong to playing the sport only, but also for self-defense. As you know very well that most of athletes are being attacked at times when they are along the way going for road runs and what have you. Our doors are open for them so that we could as well share with them self-defense. So while going for their track training and what have you along the streets, they could as well defend themselves. We also do this one to advertise for the security personnel, like the discipline forces, like the security companies. We train some of them so that during their job, they could as well defend themselves and protect themselves so that they could as well protect the property of the Kenyans. You so see that is part of Kenya. Yes, so that is how we do it.
How do you know that you are training a person who will not turn out to be a thug? Because if you've trained someone is a black belt or whatever, that person is very dangerous.
Yes.
And along the streets, mugging is so high. Are you part of the team maybe that promote this, or how do you always manage to ensure that the person you've trained does not become a thug?
Yes. Yes. That is very easy. In the first place, when somebody is joining or registering with our club, we tell them to give us 2 passport photo size. One is attached on the registration form, and the other one will be attached on his card with the numbers. They are serialized. And then there are norms of taekwondo and the rules that we have to communicate to the students, new students, that we have to inquire from them the reason why they would want to train. But we also tell them what it means about taekwondo. It's not about fighting other people. It's not about killing people. In fact, self-defense means even running away from a fight, talking to somebody nicely, saying sorry, and you going away. That's also part of self-defense. And also, as an experienced instructor, when somebody comes to join when he's on pressure, it will only take me 1 week to know and identify whether he's a good person or a bad person. Because through indomitable spirit and the psychological system that we have and the experience that we have been dealing with several other people, it will not take me time before I know his character. So such like character, in the first place, we say no. Another thing, if you do any wrong thing and we have your contact, the only thing we do, we report to the police so that the police can deal with you. So we warn them before they start training. And also there are other techniques that we don't share with the young generation. It's like giving a small boy a gun. He could as well end up killing the father. So we cannot train them how to break a neck or somebody, or to hit somewhere where we'll kill somebody in the process, maybe after 3 months. You know, we know those areas. Those are little areas that we don't share with non-starters. We only share with advanced students, those who are disciplined.
So you are a very dangerous man. You know how to break someone's neck.
Yes, we can do, but because Kenya is about human beings. It's not about the earth we walk on. Now, if I kill you here today and you are a professional at a certain level, tomorrow I go to the hospital, I realize that the person who who I broke his neck was the doctor, then I'll end up finishing myself. I will die because I killed him earlier. Now, because of that, we don't use these techniques. It's like, you see, the police officers who are trigger happy, they end up dying through that. So if you are also fond of killing people, we also end up being killed because of that. So in the first place, we love people. We love peace, even though a peacemaker must be prepared for a war. But which kind of a war? You must be somehow tactful. Yes, yes.
Now, through your, I think, over 20 years of training,
Over
have
30.
you 30 years
From
of training?
1988 to date. Yes.
When some people are not yet born.
Yes.
Through your training, have you ever maybe had someone who has trained with you and ended up maybe being on the streets as a thug or doing some illegal things that may land you as a trainer into trouble?
Not really, but you see, sometimes back when I was in college, and other people used to mug our people, our colleagues. There was only one time when actually I defended myself when I was still in college. But the moment I started settling in this town and most of them knew who I was or who I am, I rarely fight anyone because actually some of them fear being beaten, and because of the several demonstrations that we are doing in public, it's very hard for them to harass me. So I've been living in harmony and in peace. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tom Juma, thank you very much for your effort. Unatazamwa, Tom Juma, thank you very much. I love the efforts done by the guy to maintain the taekwondo in this region.
Yes,
Someone is watching you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tom. To continue,
yes.
in terms of preparing someone for a tournament,
Yes.
how do you know that this person is ready for the tournament? Is well disciplined to represent my club, and then also to ensure that whatever you're doing, like upgrading someone, how do you always know that this person is ripe for that?
First of all, we must actually make sure that he's very well acquainted with several techniques. When it comes to combined techniques, combination kicks, we have offensive techniques, defensive techniques, and just playing techniques, right? So this person must understand the way of counterattacking. When somebody is attacking, you give your body and impress your opponent as if he's going to score, and all of a sudden you counterattack. We are also going to check how faster this person is. So we check the speed work, counterattacking techniques, and being aggressive in attacking. And also we have to make sure that he's going to play within the boundaries without going outside, and actually taking care of the rules, not striking where he's not supposed to, like not punching the face, not kicking below the belt, not pushing. So if he can take care of all those things and is doing it better than the other person, then that is the right person. Yeah, we don't actually discriminate. We don't even actually just give because we love this person, and we love all of them, but we must take the best person, because at the end of the day, if you take a wrong person, finally, you'll end up losing. And also I encourage them that I'll not throw in a towel for them. In my region, you must finish the game. That's the motto.
Finish the game without throwing in the towel.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
Heading into injuries.
Yes.
You know, injuries are very dangerous. You know, taekwondo is a fully compact game.
Yes.
Now that you are not supported by the federation, a player will always do it for himself or herself. Now, what happens to a person who has been injured, and how do you always support such a person? For example, if you have what we call this head kick.
It is very simple. That in the first place, for us to avoid injuries, we do shadow sparring. And then the moment people are used to sparring, it is very hard for them to get hurt or injury. But in case of any kind of injury, we have first aid kits, and also we have measures of actually contributing per month. Each and every person contributes, and we place it in a kitty so that we could as well give a support and during the accident. And we expect these exponents also to have the NHIF. so that they can cover themselves with that on top of the precautions that we do give. Yes.
Mental health is something that is very common among sportsmen and women. Mental health and then mental strength. You realize that this person has been maybe going through some other issues. That's okay. How do you always handle that when it comes to your student?
It is good at times to share with our students so that they can be open enough to tell us their problems. And because of age, at times we also give fatherly advice. That is number one. And because stress is a form of energy, when you do exercises, there are some kind of exercises that when you do, you eliminate stress, right? Because stress is a form of dirty energy. And another thing, somebody who is suffering from the same, we have also to avoid, to advise them to stop using drugs and whatever. So the moment they are sober and you are advising and counseling them, it becomes much more easy for them to behave in a positive way, so that they, at the end of the day, they can progress in the martial art. Yes, yes.
Just tell us the steps, when it comes to preparing taekwondo, and a person like me who wants to be at your level, how long does it take, and how will I be in a position to ensure that I'm also at your level?
Yeah, it varies from person to person, because one, we also have to consider the BMI, body mass index. Two, your positive attitude. If you believe that you can do it, it doesn't matter how old you are. But I'll just see it in you, the way you're doing it. You may be small, fat, and big. But you see, one thing, you have to eliminate loss of fats in your body. And you see, as you are breathing, as you are doing exercises, we do vigorous exercises at times. And during such like exercises, the content of oxygen that you take through your nostrils is very minimal. So you end up splitting the simple sugars to simpler particles to give you oxygen, pyruvic acid, and water. Now, at that level, when you are starting, we cannot push you to the extreme. We start gradually for your body to get used to it. So the moment you become flexible and actually be in a position to do these applications, it will be your own soul for the love of game that will make you learn faster. Yes.
Now, you talked about you coaching or training as young children as 4 years.
Yes.
To older people.
Yes.
How do you maintain the temper and the tempo of these young people? And if they're there, do maybe parents accompany them, or how do you always do it?
Yeah, one thing, it is very sensitive when you are dealing with the small kids, but also beautiful. Because playing with the children, you must make them believe there's a good thing. You do it as if it's a joke, and gradually they end up loving the thing itself by executing kicks and moving some funny tricks so that they become acquainted with the same thing. And as considered to a big person, some of them get shy. So if I want to make you learn faster, I can as well train you in connection with other small kids. So you see, kids are fast learners, but bigger people are slow learners. So the moment when they are applying their techniques, they are much more fast, and your kicks are slow. So you see, because they don't feel pains the way you feel, because they are flexible. So it's very easy for them to stretch than a big person. So you see, when I'm training a bigger person, I also have to consider their age and the pain that they are going through. So I cannot push them so much. And also with the small kids, I cannot push them so much as a big person, because we are also training them how to learn what life is. So it's somehow different. We have to harbor them like an egg. I also harbor you like an egg, but at a different perspective. But the moment I'm dealing with the small kids, I also deal with them in a lovely way, like a grandfather playing with the grandchildren. Yes.
Now, like my tummy,
yes.
Yes. I'm blessed here.
Yes.
How long can it take for this tummy, maybe in training, in serious training, so that I can become as flat as you are, so that I can enter into a competition?
Very true. First of all, you must consider the hormones of your body. Maybe you come from a family where you have big body. So the most important thing for you to do, you work on the tummy. It may be big but tough. So it matters the reason why you would want it to be small. If it is natural, it cannot be small, but it can be tough. But if it's fast, it will be eliminated through the frequent exercises that we shall be working on, because in Taekwondo, we execute most of the 80% on kicks. The moment you raise your leg up, then the balance of your body depends on your tummy. So there is no way, if you do the execution of this kick, they'll affect your tummy. And also you'll work on abdominal exercises. There are so many that in a period of 3 months, I'll expect this tummy to be finished.
Now, as we almost come to an end for this live interview, coaches are being accused, not even being accused, they are taking advantage over young children. Like you find that a coach has married the trainer, a coach has done 1, 2, 3. How do you always, you as an individual, try to, okay, I'm not saying that maybe you're one of them.
I'm getting it. Yeah, very right, very true.
So how do you manage it? No, you get very, like you as a man, you get a very beautiful girls training. And as a man, yes, you know, very beautiful girls are training. As a woman, you realize that you have very masculine men coming into your area. How do you manage to come up with, to ensure that you don't fall into the trap?
Number one, discipline is the most important thing. The moment I'm dealing with any client, I don't look at them as a lady or as a man. The moment you are my student, you are my student, full stop. Things like joking around and saying 1 or 2 things, maybe she may be in need of me. Then I'll ask her if she wants that, then we stop these exercises, right? It's like, for example, with my wife, if I want to train my wife, I'll pass her to another instructor to train her, because if you do that, you'll be extending love matters rather than doing the real business. In Taekwondo or martial art, we say that if you want to be safe, you must avoid going with the women, because that's part of insecurity. Another thing, as a martial artist, as an instructor, it's like when you are a teacher in school, you should not think of sleeping with a girl because she's your child. Like, for example, if you have your girl in your house, how can you start actually talking to her about love affairs? Then you are mad or sick. That's unheard of. And even in the gyms that I've been in, most of the ladies say that I'm very serious, I don't laugh. You see, there's no reason of laughing when there is nothing to laugh at. Because we have to be serious.
Not laughing with them.
No, we can laugh, but we cannot play around in terms of being serious of training. We have to train, and we have to be serious for them to achieve. Yes, that's the goal, and that's the motto.
So, any lady out there trying to, if you go to his gym, focus.
Yes, you have to focus. No,
don't think that this man will fall a victim.
No, I will not.
Yes.
And it has never happened, because I've been dealing with children. I was sometimes employed at Gulab Lochab Academy as a discipline campaign instructor. And during that time, they really performed well. So the moment we are dealing with the students, and you take them like your clients and your children, period. However big they are or whatever, however, even if they are rich or not, it's all the same, because the motto is respect and discipline.
Okay, finally, as an instructor, how should we join you, or where should people get you so that they can train as martial art, Taekwondo to be specific? And you are talking about the gym, where is the gym located, and what are some of the requirements for people to join you?
Yeah, you can get me at Johannesburg Plaza, 3rd floor, room 21 at Steps Gym. You can also get me at Billy's Gym behind Central Bank. You can as well get me at Roadblock Gym, at Mikmos Gym, Roadblock, and there is another one at Annex. But I have programs, because, I cannot go in those places. Yeah. I also send my assistant to go and represent me when I'm held up. I can as well reach you in your places for private training in your compounds. When you have, if you fear joining the gym, I can instruct you in private place as well. And if you want to join, you register at a fee of 500 shillings, you bring 2 passport photo size, and you sign the form that also actually states the discipline and the norms of Taekwondo. So the moment you commit yourself into signing that form, when you join the game, then it is very clear that you're not allowed to fight anybody outside. Yeah.
As we sign out, thank you very much, viewers, for being cooperative, giving us that humble time. For all of us from here, as we wind up, Mr. Ratanga is going to show us some of the tricks, or just the language that they use as he signs out.
It's a whole process. I think some other time when you have time, I'll share with you those. It's a very big system because we have the language, we have for refereeing, we have for sporting activities, there's of self-defense techniques, Kyopka breaking techniques. Yeah. So it's a very big thing that we cannot just share here today.
We can't do it here. So thank you very much. See you in our next episode.
Thank you so much. I hope that you're going to it's going to reach several other exponents and those who are in need of joining the game. And during the COVID, Taekwondo is the best because the moment you are training, you improve the body immunity, you are flexible, your discipline should be part of life for safety.
Thank you very much. See you another day.
Thank you so much.